Hello and welcome to the Hume podcast from and Long. For those of you who don't know us, Hume is a recruitment training business co-founded by myself, Ed Khan, and Laura Hopes.
And each week we're going to be giving you 10-minute snippets into our world of recruitment, tips and tricks to help you on your journey as an agency recruiter, and hopefully some laughs along the way too. We hope you guys enjoy.
This is so cute. Cheers. Okay, team. Welcome to this week's Podiat. We are in the country. This is not a Zoom background. This is actually the country.
This is real. And welcome to our Bush series.
Yes, 4 weeks. Next 4 weeks of Podiats are going to be based out here. Lucy and I are doing our end of year planning, strategizing,
big day.
out, realigning values, all the good
Amazing.
things. And so we're recording our next few episodes here.
Yeah.
So something Lucy and I actually through our business planning and sort of realigning values came up with a topic that we both were quite passionate about, and something that I think comes up not just with recruiters and owners of recruitment agencies, but everyone in all walks of life, which is imposter syndrome.
Yeah, we all have it, which is the most surprising thing. Because in conversation yesterday, we were talking about how feelings that I was having, and then you shared that you were feeling similar things, and I almost couldn't believe it because I was like, Ez has imposter syndrome, but how is that possible? Because you're here and I'm here, and you're like, no, you think you're here because you have imposter syndrome.
Yeah, it's so funny, and I think every single person, and I know CEOs, CFOs of billion-dollar businesses through my friend group, and they all have the exact same thing. And I think one of the things that is such a good reminder is to have these open conversations with people.
Yes.
100% of the time, if you talk to someone about imposter syndrome, I can almost guarantee, in fact, I can guarantee it, the other person would go, oh my God, yeah, I feel that all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just a little niggle that we all have. And I think left unchecked, what it can do, and certainly for recruiters, bringing it back to this is a recruitment podcast, if left unchecked, you can start convincing yourself that you're not good at a particular part of the role. Say business development, because that's a good example. Most people think they're crap at business development.
Yeah.
And they tell themselves that. And the more they tell themselves that someone's going to find me out, that I'm not good, the less they want to do it. And so the less successful they are financially. And the more it further proves that they're not good. And so it's this whole self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
And it's left unchecked. And so conversations like this are so important, because I think the minute you realise, oh, actually, I thought that person would never have it because they're so successful, they walk around super confident, but it's like, no, we all have that feeling. And actually, it's not the worst feeling in the world because it helps you to push a little bit harder.
And it can be quite humbling as well, like an experience to think. I think it's about the perception in your mind or the thought that you're having about it, because I think it's nice to humble yourself and think, okay, I want to improve, and you don't want to be walking around arrogantly thinking that you're the shit.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's important that, the imposter syndrome thoughts that you're having, and something that I've definitely tried to implement for myself, is that we have millions of thoughts every single day, and the thought of not being worthy enough or enough to do a certain task, that's also just a thought. It's not the truth or the reality. It's just another thought. And what we were saying last night is, the idea of trying to, rather than it be like a representation of who you are, by calling it just another thought and removing or putting space between the reality and the thought, by just saying oh, I'm not ready to do BD, or I'm not good enough to reach out to this client. It's like saying, well, I just think that. That's what I just think. I'm just thinking that.
And it's so true. It's all the little things that our thoughts will tell us, and it's such a good reminder, because when you said that last night, I was like, that's so true. Not every single thought is true. The amount of thoughts that we have, weird and wonderful things that just pop into your brain, And normally we can decipher, oh no, that's not me.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But for some reason, when it's a negative thing about ourselves, we tend to take it on and go, okay, that's me. And it's like, no, you just need to remove the thought from who you are and realize that it's just thoughts. Like you're listening to your thoughts, so that's not you. And it sounds quite woo-woo, but I think that for me has really helped, is actually putting a bit of separation between the thought and who I actually am.
Yeah, 100%. It's certainly helped me, and definitely sometimes it feels bigger than other times. But I do think it's important to humble yourself and just kind of say, well, hold on a second, that's not the truth. That is just a thought.
My thoughts are telling me that I'm a massive lush who loves wine. That is just the thought. It's not reality. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode, guys. Just check your thoughts. Not everything is true. And what you start believing will become your reality. So if you are believing those negative thoughts, they will become your reality and they're self-fulfilling. Yeah. So just slow down, check in with yourself, and reaffirm to yourself who you really are and what those thoughts are and are not.
And talk about it. And talk about it with that. I guarantee the person that sits next to you, whether they are a resource, they're fresh in their career, they're the CEO of the company, or they've been there for 10 years, everyone has them.
100%. And guys, I would, anyone listening to this that struggles with this, genuinely pick up the phone to Lucy or I at any given time and 100%. Go, this is what's going through my head, I'm having imposter syndrome. And just the mere fact of sharing that and someone else going, oh no, I get that all the time. I get it before we're running a new course or whatever it might be. But just knowing that that's not just happens to you, and it is fine to ignore those thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. See you next week on the Bush series of Rolls and Lulls.